Therapy Army, how are you? It's a Friday night and there's a lot to get through, people. Welcome to United Real Therapy. Tonight, jam-packed show. We're doing the Fulham preview, but there's been some really interesting, one of the best press conferences of Erik ten Hag's time in Manchester United. Some really hard-hitting questions about Donny, about Anthony Martial, about up front, players with injuries. Such a incredible, lots of talking points. Big up to every one of you. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And let's get into it, people. Big up, bro. Big up. I'm sorry I'm late. It's a late one. It is. Hopefully people will get to see the video tomorrow. But it is a fascinating game. Fascinating game tomorrow. So let's start off with a preview. Fulham been brilliant this season. If you look at the table, the league table, Fulham are exactly on the same points as Liverpool. Liverpool are 8th, Fulham are 9th, Crystal Palace are 10th. We are 5th. So the difference in points between us and Fulham are 4 points. 4 points. Only 4 points, people. But big up to every one of you. Most of you guys who are here. Big up Rashid. Love, brother. Love and light always, brother. Much respect. Mitrovic is injured, but they're not just a one-man team. Majority of people make excuses, think that they're not just a one-man team. They play with a lot of energy. Their energy, the way they play the ball out from the back, how they utilize their strength. They've been, to me, out of the top teams that have come up, they've been the most impressive by far. They have been the most impressive by far. They're almost like the Brentford of last season. They are the Brentford of last season. They've been refreshing. Anytime I've watched Fulham play, the Newcastle game, where, to be fair, they got a red card and then it all went haywire. But other than that, they've acquitted themselves really well in majority of games. So nothing but respect for them. It must be said. Absolutely nothing but respect for them. And yeah, so it's going to be a very interesting game. Very, very interesting game tomorrow on Sunday. For me, they are a very good team and a very dangerous team, and a team that has a lot of weapons. Really a lot of weapons. But let's just get into the team news. Fulham's Aleksandar Mitrovic is again out with an ongoing foot injury. That could delay him to the start of the World Cup. So he's been picked by the Serbian team, but he is going to be one of those injured players who are going to the World Cup injured. Bobby de Cordova, he's come back from suspension. Harrison Reed and Kenny Tate are banned for accumulating 5 bookings. Harrison Reed is actually a good player for them, and Kenny Tate's been a good player for them as well. We have Bruno available, obviously, after the suspension. Diego Dalot is saving a 1-match ban. Ronaldo, obviously, was ill. And Anthony will have a pelvic, apparently he's carrying a pelvic injury, so it's a late fitness test for Anthony. Yeah, it is what it is. It's going to be a very difficult game. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie or dress it up and go, yeah. This is what it's going to be. Tactically, it's going to be a very interesting game. So I'm expecting a tough game, people. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm expecting a very tough game tomorrow. And it's not going to be an easy game. It's not going to be an easy game. It's It's not going to be an easy game at all. What do you guys think? How do you guys think? What do you guys think? What are you thinking about Sunday's game, people? It's the penultimate game before the World Cup starts. So it's our last game till December. It's not going to be an easy game. I'm not expecting an easy game. I'm expecting a really tough game. And I think tactically, they're going to be on the front foot. Same thing they did against Liverpool. When they played Man City, I was so impressed with them. Even though City went to 10 men and City obviously have the quality, they were at home, pushing hard. Yeah. So I'm expecting a really tough game. I was glad that Casemiro, Eriksen, Martinez, David De Gea. Who else got rested? I think those 5 got rested. I think he made 7 changes. Oh, Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw completely rested. So there's 6. There's one more person, one more player that was rested from the Villa game. And maybe Garnacho. Yeah, it's Garnacho. So 7 changes from the League Villa game that he made for the last night's cup game. So I'm expecting a tough game, people. I'm genuinely expecting a tough game. Really tough game. In terms of how they play, Fulham, $19 points they've got already from 13 games, 13 matches in the Premier League. That is a lot of things to, a lot of points to, accumulate for a team that just came up from the Championship. They won the Championship, by the way, by absolute canter. They were by far the best team in the Championship. They were miles ahead. So they've recorded They've recorded 5 wins, 4 draws, and 5 defeats. But they're full of goals. They've scored 23 times this season. 23 times. That is obviously 4 more than us. So 5 more than us. Yeah. They beat, obviously, yeah. I don't know, people. I genuinely don't know. How you doing, F?
Yeah, all good.
Big up. Pakistan in the final.
Yeah, crazy how they got there, but I don't know how many of the United supporters are into cricket. But mad game.
Well,
I don't know how they got to the final. I don't know how that's happened.
Well, that's what happens with tournaments, isn't it? Sometimes a shock. South Africa.
No, not like this. Not. I can't think of a shock of South Africa losing to a team that's only been playing cricket for I don't know how many years, a decade plus, maybe. Talking.
The football equivalent would be Cameroon in 1990 beating Argentina, the world champions, from the time '86, obviously, 1-0.
Something. Did they beat them? Did they beat them? Yeah. Cameroon beat them.
Cameroon beat Argentina.
Which Argentina team was it again?
Maradona.
Oh wow! So it was that team, right? Okay.
1990 World Cup. Yeah,
it's that type of shock.
Yeah, if Fulham doesn't.
But it's also like saying that Cameroon needed to beat Argentina to get to the semi-final of the World Cup. It's a bit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just listening to what you're saying about Fulham. Now I haven't. Is one of the teams. There's a few teams I haven't really paid attention to. I only know a little bit. Like they're actually a pretty good team. It's they're like one of the teams that's just got a bit of fluidity about them. Like they score. I know they score more than we do.
Yeah.
But is Mitrovic? Is he out? Is he not out? Is he out?
Yeah, he's injured apparently. They've
Because
got a couple of injuries. They've got a couple of suspensions. So they've got who's suspended? They've got so they got Bobby Cordova and
Cordoba.
so Bobby Cordova returns after a suspension, but Harrison Reed and Kenny Tate are banned for accumulating 5 bookings. They do a lot of tactical fouling. I know that for a fact.
Is it home or away, Nuruddin? Home or away?
No, we're away. So one of my favorite grounds actually. When I've been, I've gone there to watch United.
Craven Cottage, yeah. Fulham's a nice part. It's a nice part of London, Fulham.
I've gone three, but I've never felt like like at times to watch your back, you feel as a United fan, like West Ham, Spurs, Arsenal. You know what I mean? You always feel like Chelsea at times, but Fulham and Crystal Palace, I never had to watch my back. Like it's just relaxed. You come out relaxed. You just get on the tube, go wherever you're going.
It's quite a posh London or Fulham, Nuruddin.
Yeah, but it's one. You know why I like it? It's because it's old school English football ground, just like Goodison Park.
It's
very interesting.
It's quite. I've been a couple of times. It's quite a small ground. It's very old school, sort of like. To me, it's like a Division 1 ground or old Division 1 ground. It's not like a Premier League ground.
It's just a classic, like fans on top of you. That's what I like about it.
Yeah,
it's the fans are on top of you. It's classic like that. It's a classic, like fans on top of you, kind of stadium. That's what it is.
I get you. Oh, Wendy's made an interesting comment. She said Chanda Paul is in the Hall of Fame. Now, Shivnarine Chanda Paul is one of the greatest West Indian players. A little diminutive guy, but my God, this guy was a run machine. So I know much about him, Wendy. He was a superstar. Although he wasn't like a Lara type flashy showman, top level batsman, but he was one of the top accumulators in the game. So respect to Shiv Chandapal. Yes, I mean, I don't know what United fans are thinking about this one, because this is I don't know. I mean, I was asking you, did the second half of the Carabao Cup game or Carabao Cup? I don't know. Is it Carabao or Carabao? I always mix it up. What do you call it, Nuruddin? Carabao or Carabao?
Carabao. It's Carabao Cup.
It's not Carabao. No, it's BOU.
Yeah.
Well, do you think that the second half performance made Ten Hag think differently about how he can use the players? Because obviously, I heard the difference between the first half and second half was night and day. It was a completely different team in the second half, especially when he brought Garnacho and Ericsson on and shifting Bruno to the middle. Do you think he's learning something from that because this game? Because obviously Martinez didn't play; he was rested, the whole game.
Martinez came in the last 5-6 minutes.
Okay.
10 minutes. Casemiro came in 10 minutes to go, 12 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Ericsson came on like for half an hour to go, something like 60th minutes.
Yeah.
Garnacho, Elanga, guys who have had energy, they came on that late. Yeah. So
it's good that we beat. Good that we beat them, though. It's good that we beat them.
Tomorrow's going to be a very fascinating game. Windy Grant said if Fulham doesn't have players going to the World Cup, Mitrovic is 100%. There'll be no sensitivity on their part, while United players have to be more cautious. Yeah, but you know what? I think that's when you get injured. That's where you get injured. Nuruddin, Claire says, even Nuruddin, Mitrovic is out. What's the massive plus? Of course, he's a massive plus.
Is he? He was one
he's already been picked by Serbia. He's going to the World Cup, but he's one of the players who are going to be going to the World Cup with.
It's Carabao. It's Carabao.
Yeah. Big up, Nate. Not heard from you in a while. Big up, Structure. I wish you were strong enough, squad. We don't have to. We don't have to celebrate that Fulham are crippled, and it means we could win. Yeah, they've got about. I think they've got about 3 or 4 injuries. Obviously, Mitrovic being there, they play through him. But Andreas Pereira is written. People, if Fulham are gonna score, it's Andreas Pereira.
Don't say that.
Andreas Pereira has been directly involved in 6 goals.
I keep forgetting that he plays for them. I forget that he plays for Fulham. Andreas Pereira.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's been brilliant for them. He's been absolutely brilliant. But one thing I would say, Irfan, is the tenacity and energy. Marco Silva, it's like he got the job, didn't he? He got the job at Everton. It didn't go well.
Didn't he go Watford?
Yeah, he went to Watford, then Everton. Yes, you're right. Watford, Everton.
Yeah.
And then he got sacked from both. And then he just, found himself everybody, to be fair, when he first came in, he was quite young, innit? So people were like, oh, everybody was like the next Jose. You know what I mean? Every Portuguese manager. But he plays better football than Jose, to be fair. His teams play better football. They've scored 23 goals. They're full of goals. Even though Mitrovic is not playing, their crowd, when I've been in that stadium, their crowd is loud, even though they're known as the Posh Boys, the Posh Boys Club, whatever. Their crowd are actually quite noisy. And because of the size of the stadium, the pitch is tight. The pitch is tight. So when they build momentum, it can be amazing. But here's one for you, Irfan. Abdul Al-Khat.
Charlotte Edwards. Abdul Kadir is the greatest. Well, I think he's the legend of leg spin bowling. He's the one that was teaching Shane Warne how to bowl leg spin out of the hand like that. So yeah, respect him. Charlotte Edwards, I don't know much of women's cricket. I don't know that much, but I know the name, obviously. I don't know much about it, but yeah, we know Abdul Kadir. His son Usman plays for Pakistan now. He's like the second tier, the top team. He doesn't quite make it because Shadab's there, but he's a top player. My opinion on Garnacho. Oh, that's an interesting question. That my opinion is still reserved, although the reason he would be in every squad or every lineup for me is that I like the fact he actually takes on players. He just takes on players. It's as simple as that.
He's direct.
He's direct. No, Nuruddin.
Last night he set up 2 beautiful goals. Cross from McTominay, what a cross!
Well, look, you remember? You remember we went to the youth club final. Do you remember we went to the game and we saw him then, right? Remember? Yeah. So we saw him at the youth club, and I thought this guy, he looked like there's a couple of players that he stood out. He was one that stood out. And then I heard the comments about what Bruno said about him, you know, and like this and that, sort of like certain issues about being in the not turning up on time or not really giving a shit about training and just wanting to do it on the pitch. You know, I read a few things like that. But then to me, you know, like we talked about Shane Warne. Shane Warne was one of them guys who didn't want to do any training and shit. He just had serious natural talent. He just wanted to do it on the pitch. He wasn't asked about the training thing. So he could be one of those maverick players. But the reason we need this guy and we have to drip feed him into the team. We can't play him all the time because he's still too young yet. He's still growing. To me, he needs to be physically stronger and a bit more muscular before he can do it, you know, like permanently at United. Because once he gets an injury, I don't know what it's going to be like. But he's got the potential to be a very, very good player. But I'm not getting too excited yet. But I love the fact he does something that I don't see anyone else in United do. I've not even seen Anthony do it yet. Go past the player. Like, not be scared about running past him all day long and time again. And that ball for McTominay shows he's got another asset to his game. I mean, that was high level pass. That if it was Kevin De Bruyne or someone else had made that pass, I don't know, another top player, you would all be like, wouldn't have stopped talking about it. So again, but we have to just keep this down a little bit, not get too excited about this potentialist guy. But it's just good that we got him for this season. It's good. I hope he keeps his foot on the ground. You know, we remember a certain player who's gone now, and he was all the rage as well. So, you know, young players, you just got to really be on top of them and make sure that you use them very, very carefully, manage their lives, manage their brains, manage everything about what they do at this delicate stage. Because being a football player when you're 18, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, is not like being a football player now. It's a whole different ball game. And they need guidance. These guys need guidance. But it's exciting for United fans because every time you mention his name, everyone gets excited. And that's a good thing to have. Because to me, he's shown more than Rashford and Martial at a similar age already for me. He just got way more football intelligence than I see at the moment. But like I said, I'm trying to not get too excited. I'm trying to just make sure that we manage this guy's career. Because like I said, he's not English, he's Argentinian. He's Argentinian, isn't he? Yeah. So on him, Uruguay?
He's basically like mixed heritage, isn't it? It's Argentinian and Spanish.
Okay. Yeah, but he represents Argentina, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's chosen to represent. He's chosen to represent.
But you know what I'm saying about a guy that young, you know? Because United's always looking for the next superstar. The marketing capitalist football world is looking for the next superstar from Man United. So it's a lot to deal with, and I don't know who's around him. So I'm a bit worried about young players at the moment, having seen what's happened to Mason Greenwood and people like that, and just other people. I want to make sure that we manage this potential, top guy in the making. Well, I want to make sure that someone grabs him and said, listen, this is what your potential is. I'm hoping Martinez could be the guy. Lissandro could be the guy that does it to him. I hope he grips him and say, look, this is what you need to do. I'm hoping he could be the role model for Garnacho. You're muted, Nuruddin. You're muted. You're muted.
The formation which they play, just talking about a little bit of a tactical preview. So to give a bit of tactical preview, they usually play 4-2-3-1. And usually it's Leno, who's the goalkeeper. The defenders are Cordova, Reed, Tolson, Raheem, Robinson. And then they got Polina. For me, I really read Polina. Wilson is a very good player for them. Pereira, William, obviously, they're the three. Obviously, I don't know who they're going to play up front tomorrow on Sunday. But Mitrovic is injured. The type of team that I'm expecting from Man United is going to be David De Gea, Lindelof, Martinez, Shaw, Casemiro, Eriksen, Rashford, Martial, Garnacho, or Ronaldo. But I'm not expecting that team genuinely. I'm expecting to be. They're saying that they're waiting on a late fitness test for Anthony Irfan because he's got pelvic injury apparently. This mystery injury that's been keeping him out is apparently a pelvic injury. So that's why he's facing a late fitness test. It's going to be a very interesting.
We need him on the road. You know, we've got such a sort of lightweight squad, really, of quality. We need this guy for every game, Anthony, especially in this season, because this is a try to survive through try and get that magical fourth spot. It's all about that, and with limited resources and still with the poisonous owners, we need this guy for every game. We got to squeeze everything up, every player, especially World Cup year this year. So we can't afford to have injuries. We just have this. We don't have the squad to get through games without. With injuries, they mess it up. We haven't got the big squad. We haven't got the quality of the squad. So that's my worry with this guy. And without him, let's face it, we're not the same team without the guy. Let's be honest. Even in the small time he's been here, we need the guy. We need him. We need him, especially on that right hand side. We need him.
Yeah,
we're without this guy because of the way he controls the ball.
Yeah, big up Claire, by the way. She says, I don't think the game's going to be easy as some Man United fans are making it out to be. Listen, there's a section in our fan base who think we're the great Man United. It's too hard for them to accept the reality of who we are as a football club. We are Manchester United only by name, by history, by reputation, by the size of our fan base. We're not really Man United. We're not Manchester United. We're not Manchester United in terms of what we produce on the football pitch. So I'd certainly not be taking them for lightly. I know what they do. They set traps for you. They press you in certain areas tactically. And what they do then is the way they play that final pass, and obviously they play through Mitrovic. Let's not get it twisted. He's their striker. He's banged in goals. Everybody's questioning this guy. Can he do it? He can do it in the Championship, but can he do it in the Premier League? And he's proved everybody wrong. They've proved everybody wrong. So he is going to be a huge miss for them. Obviously, they would play 10 men against Man City. Obviously, Man City have still got quality players, and they didn't quite believe that they could beat City at the Etihad. But they are a very dangerous team. They're a very different team at home. And I thought the red card was harsh on them against Newcastle. And to be fair, Newcastle are a physical team. So for Man United to win on Sunday, we have to bring the intensity and the aggression. We saw it in the last half an hour against Villa last night. And we saw that goals can go in. We can play. Especially Ronaldo doesn't need to be anywhere near the team. And they have to go for it. If any other players go into this bit tentative of getting injured, they will get injured because that's how it works.
Wait a second. Right, look. Let me ask you a question, because that statement's got a couple of things to come back from it. So how do you put the loss to Aston Villa in the league? What do you put that down to?
I put it down to pure fatigueness because I'm not.
Yeah, okay, all right. So you answered my question. You answered what I was going to say. I was going to say, I think you put it down to fatigue. I do put it down to fatigue, but not only down to fatigue. Fatigue was a factor in it. So how do you know
we're not? What you don't understand there, man, is that fatigue. It's not physical, is it? It's mental.
It's mental. Yeah, it's mental. Yeah. So how do you know we ain't going to suffer from a little bit of that in this game tomorrow?
Because he made 7 changes last night. He made 7 changes last night. It looked like all of them almost came on. Other than Luke Shaw, 5 of them came on last night. and he made 7 changes against Villa last night.
Mm.
He made 7 changes to the team. So other than Luke, I think Eriksen was on the pitch, Martinez, Casemiro was on the pitch, Garnacho was on the pitch. Who else? Who else was on the pitch?
You said Martinez came on the last.
Martinez came on. Eriksen, Casemiro.
Yeah.
Who else came on? Garnacho.
Elanga came on, didn't he?
Yeah, but Elanga didn't play. So from the team that got beaten, who were fatigued,
Got both in the league. Yeah.
and the team that played against Real Sociedad and Villa, who were fatigued before they played Villa, and also they took Villa lightly, and Villa came out the blocks. So if Fulham on Sunday have a fast start, it's murder she wrote. Windy says, I think Garnacho will be leaving United in 2 years. Windy, just the news for everybody. Garnacho's still not signed a long-term contract yet. Hence why he's getting played. This is a ploy for Man United to tie him down to a long contract so that they're giving him chances. But definitely, I think he believes in himself. There's certain thing about this kid where he's got this incredible self-belief. And I remember watching him. I watched him for 4 or 5 games last season. I went to many games at Old Trafford that the first team was not playing in there, fan. I went to many games as I can at Old Trafford where the first team wasn't playing. So I got to see the under-23 women, the women's team, and I got to see 3 games, or was it 4 games of the youth team on the way to the final. So for me, he's got this belief, and Erik ten Hag is the type of manager, if you're young enough, you're good enough. Like, if you're good enough, if you don't matter your age, but you have to be consistent. So he has got that swagger, that thing about him that he's going to fight. So we can't predict that, but we've not even got him signed to a longer contract. In the long term, I think he would want to play. I don't know, because he came from Atletico Madrid. Would he ever want to play for Real Madrid? Maybe he wants to play for Barcelona. I think Spain, that's his home country, innit? As part of his family. So Spain is a country where he's going to play. But at this moment in time, I don't think I don't think Real Madrid will be giving him this chance. I don't think Barcelona will be playing him at the age of 18. I don't think they would. I don't think, unless they produced him out of their own academy, not a player they bought. So
are you sure
it's going to be Say that again?
Are you sure about that?
I don't think they'll be playing him yet.
Barcelona would play this guy at 18.
No, not yet.
How old was Pedri? How old was Pedri when he got a game? How old was Pedri when he got a game?
Pedri got a game, I think he's about 18, I think he is.
17, I think 17.
Yeah, but he plays in a different position, Irfan.
Yeah, he does much further back, yeah.
Yeah, totally different position. I think when you've got like the likes of experience to play, to me, I like Garnacho at this moment in time, he has to work on what he's like when he's got the ball, not to hog the ball too much, want to take people on, how to get back positioning, and everything I said, Erik ten Hag talked about it already, because I know that with young players, what comes to them natural is being direct and taking players on. But there's so much other things to learn, especially with modern football. Let's say 20 years ago, football, you can have mavericks who can just attack all day, right? Defenders will be like, we'll defend for you. You just attack, don't even bother. Now, football, you can't carry any passengers. That's why you don't see great number 10s in football anymore, because you can't carry these players.
Yeah, but it's funny you say that, Nuruddin, because on my Facebook, on my story today, on my timeline, I actually put, if I can remember, I should read this to you because this is relevant. It's relevant to what you just said. Well, let me just get up a second. Let me just quickly look. I laughed when you said that because I put this in after we spoke on the phone earlier on today. I put this post up, right? And you'll like it. Hang on a second. It said, 1 second. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to show it to you now. It said, who remembers the year and World Cup when football died? I certainly do. I put RIP Socrates, Brazil 82, football. Yeah. I put that on my thingy. So it's funny you say that because there's an article on the BBC today saying that football died in 82. It actually died. So jumping onto what you just said about how the game has changed.
I don't think it's died. It didn't die.
But you know what they mean? They don't obviously mean it's died because it's not died. It's
I still got to see players like Rudi Costa, Figo,
Rui Costa, yeah.
You know what I mean? Zidane, Ronaldinho, Rivaldo. You know, we got to see these kind of incredible, still like so many amazing, like Hadji, Stoichkov.
Yeah.
We got to see these brilliant number 10s representing their, representing their country. So for me, it didn't die. I think football died to a certain extent when it became like too much. You know what happened? There's certain managers who came. There were certain managers that became super influential in terms of positional organization. Yeah. What's the word? How would I?
Wait a second, Nuruddin. Wait.
Listen, defensive position organize. Can I say
Yeah.
that? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Defensive positional organizations, right?
Yeah. No.
When that came, and
Yeah.
then we figured out that okay, now the attacking players have to also be doing work off the ball. That to me was when football became more of a chess game, more of a chess kind of a game, and the flair and the natural, like instinctive players were phased out or were coached out. Also, the technology has moved on. The internet has changed the world. So now the surprises of finding these young players, like it's not a secret anymore. No young player is a secret anymore. Academies have become a massive thing of turning out younger players. And then the players being overplayed, and there's been so much football. And also that like the event of the like Sky Television, but Sky in Italy, Germany, like all over Europe, like that the television, the capital is really coming in. It became a very systematic kind of like where people have to play in certain positions. It's almost like a chess game. You move here, I'll move there. You move here, move. So the instinctive players, the number 10s, the Zidanes, the Hadjis, the Rudi Costas, you know what I mean? These players have died for me. Like they're no longer. It's very difficult to carry that type of player now. It's very difficult to carry because these players, they would still cut out passing lanes. They had a couple of tactical, but you let them do what they want. So it was the age of just individual. It was not say individual brilliance, but it was instinctive, genius football players. Like you could just turn the game on the spin. You know what I mean? They can sense it, and you know it's coming. The other team knows it. The other team's fans knows it. They're gonna get moments where they're gonna decide the game. Well, now more of a tactical system. Of course, those players are still needed. Strikers still get paid the bigs. The inverted wingers is still a massive thing. That's the invention of that. The inverted wingers, you know, the inverted forwards now. But it's in terms of like the purity of it, I understand for 1982 because the way it was played. Because Italy won, and they weren't the most. They were the most defensive, dirty team. But that iconic Paolo Rossi celebration when he's just going mad after he scores against Germany.
I mean, I remember that. I watched that game carefully as a youngster. I remember watching the game, and I was absolutely gutted when they lost. But I watching every game of Brazil that year, I just didn't think anyone was going to beat them. I just thought it was just pure magic. It was like being at Rio Carnival every game to me in my mind. That's what it was like. It was like being in a carnival in Rio every time Brazil were playing. So when they say it's died, they mean the pure joy and entertainment of natural football was over. It became a chess game, it became super defensive, and that's what changed. And like Claire just said, it became moving towards hyper capitalism, monetizing everything. So that I think there's a lot of things to look at, but I don't know whether I'd love to know what the stats are of how many goals were scored pre-82 in the last 10 years, 72 to 82, compared to how many goals, let's say, were scored 82 onwards, like 82, 92 or whatever now. Because what I seem to understand is that I get this vibe that less goals are scored these days from the 70s and 80s. I don't know why I think that, but that's just what I think. But I don't know whether it's changed for the better or changed for the worse. It's certainly become more professional, the game has. Because like I said, tracking back and stuff like that. One of the reasons Brazil lost is because of the lack of tracking back and things like that. That's what changed. Even Brazil, the culture in Brazil changed. You know, look at their career.
But also fitness, obviously, sports science, all of that has contributed. The further the professionalization, like we would never have had in the 80s Ronaldo or Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi playing like this. First of all, a tackle from behind contributed to a lot of that because their careers were not ended. Their careers were not ended sooner because the tackle from behind got outlawed. Like you could no longer you get a red card if you really tackle from behind. But that changed. That had a massive effect in terms of like the consistency, the professionalism. Having Ronaldo's got a brand now. Messi's got a brand. Like they're so professionalized, they're so scrutinized, you know, everything that they do, and also like this to chase the numbers. This idea of becoming obsessed to changing the numbers became a big thing as well.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like to chase certain numbers and to chase certain things, it became a massive thing for me. It became a massive thing. But I'm trying to find people. I'm trying to find quotes. If any of you police in the chat can find quotes, I just want to go into a little bit. Let's pick our team. Actually, should we pick our team, Irfan?
Well, one last thing, though. One last thing. Let's go back to Fulham, right? Because this must be the best Fulham team that I can remember, Nuruddin, for a long time.
Well,
you know,
they've equaled their Premier League 5 wins by this time. They've equaled it. They're 19 points. They're 4 points behind us in the table. They are 9. Liverpool are 8.
That's what I mean.
They're on the same points as Liverpool.
And I don't know who watched the City game where they lost, because when they had City were down to 10 men, Cancelo got sent off, yet City still won. I'd love to know someone who watched that game, because I'd love to see how they handled being 1 man ahead and still losing. I'd love to see what was in their brain, because everyone I speak to that's mentioned Fulham said that they're just this direct, fast team. They got fast, athletic guys. You know, like I said, they've got Silva's got this very athletic press that the team uses, and like I said, it's short, sharp, fast passing. You know, that's the vibe I get. So I don't really know what they're going to bring, but it does seem like it's the best Fulham team we're going to have played probably in a long time, if not ever.
100%. No, to be fair, Mitrovic is a huge miss for them because they play through him. They play through him. Everything, the way the team is set up is to get the best out of him. And the patterns of play that they have, especially out wide, the cross to the back post, you know what I mean? The way he holds up the ball for them, brings people like Pereira and the other guy, the American kid, and that into play. Yeah. Obviously, and don't forget, people, they've also got Dan James. So on Sunday, we're not going to be facing Dan James.
Did you say William plays for them? Brazilian William. Did you say he plays for them?
Yeah, William plays for them, yeah.
Oh, wow. I forgot that he plays for them as well.
You know why he left Brazil? Because Brazilian football got so toxic, his family started getting death threats. He went back to Brazil thinking, okay, the last years I'm going to play football. He started getting death threats right, left, and center.
Wow. I know it's crazy. It's crazy. I know Brazil has got that sort of that hot-headed crazy.
It's become a crazy place. So
okay, but remember
like players getting chased to their cars. It's become crazy. It's become hooliganism that's took on much.
No, but their fanaticism is a different level to what we know, Nuruddin.
Yeah, but anyway, let's get through this quickly. Ten Hag says it's quite clear the way of. I said it to people in the spaces, but nobody wanted to listen to me. I said the way that I've seen, the way that we've been playing with Martial is his first choice striker. I said I told everybody, but nobody wanted to listen. So tonight it's quite clear in the way of playing. I like the type Anthony Martial is because he can hold up the ball. He's a target. He can link up. He can also run behind, and he has speed. Right. He goes on to say about Donny van de Beek. Donny van de Beek, I see your opinion. He's better talking about people are saying now it's like Donny van de Beek. That's it. So he's not played. He's been injured. He's played a couple of games, and all of a sudden, we expect so much from him when the team's just gone down in terms of the level of energy and aggression. Donny van de Beek comes into the team when there's no energy and there's no aggression because of the fatigue, right? And then I'm not making this. That's a fact. So now he's like the criticism is out there. It's like I see that opinion. That he might not suit England. But when I watch back the performance against Solly and Villa, he's in the positions that I expect number 10s to do. Nowadays, that tends to be really difficult to show themselves. I told you, we were just talking about it. Number 10s do not, in modern football, is really difficult. So it says Donny van de Beek. I don't think, so they asked him, so should he go in alone or should he be gone? He says, I don't think loan makes sense. It's either he fights for himself and proves himself in this atmosphere, in this environment, or he goes. And that's clear. It's clear. It is absolutely clear. So big up. But the breaking news from Jamie Jackson tonight, Irfan, from this afternoon, is that Jamie Jackson, serious writer, journalist.
Guardian writer, yeah.
Guardian writer. Actually, I've met him a couple of times. He's quite nice, actually.
He's Jamie. Look, I've known this guy. I've known about this guy for 20 years, right? This guy is seen as one of the top broadsheet journalists who's a Man United fan. But remember, he had that spat with Ferguson, right? Ferguson stopped talking to him. Ferguson wouldn't be interviewed. Ferguson had a kickoff with Jamie Jackson 20 odd years ago. Okay. And that's when it all kicks up. But I read this guy's articles, but there's a few other football writers at The Guardian that I read as well. But yeah, he meant, did he say something about Fred can go? And what was the other thing you were going to say?
Maguire is the guy. Yeah. Maguire is the guy that.
Are you surprised that he's saying Fred can go?
No, but because we've expected that, because he's two. 1 minute is Fred from Brazil, the other one is Fred from.
Basically, he's schizo Fred. He's schizo Fred, isn't he?
Yeah. 1 minute is from Stoke. But anyway, on the headlines, he goes like this. He goes, Manchester United will consider offer for Harry Maguire next summer, with Erik ten Hag intent on selling the captain to help fund continuing overhaul of the squad. Maguire cost 80 million, but the club realised they might have to accept a considerable loss on him. The news comes days.
No. I'm going. You missed out. The money. They might. United consider they will like take offers of 15 million and above. Yeah, is that what it's meant to be?
No, I don't think so. You're adding that. Let me just read this paragraph. So they accept a considerate loss to sell him. The news comes days before England's World Cup 22 campaign begins in Qatar, where Maguire expected to be the first choice for Gareth Southgate. However, the 29-year-old stock has fallen considerably at United. Having been made captain under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who signed him for Leicester in August 2019, he started only one of Premier League matches under Ten Hag He's only started one of Premier League match under Erik ten Hag since being in first 11 for the 2-1 loss to Brighton and a 4-0 defeat at Brentford in the opening 2 matches, and he's now in effect 4th choice centre back. Ten Hag's number 1 pairing, Rafael Varane and Alessandro Martinez, and Victor Lindelof was preferred to Maguire in the partnering in Martinez on Sunday's 3-1 loss. Premier League reverse at Aston Villa in the absence of the injured Varane. And Maguire has signed 6-year contract and has an option to extend to 2026. The length of his deal as salary is about it's almost 200 grand a week. And his dramatic loss of form means that it might be hard to move on the price anywhere near 80 million. Harry Maguire admirers, Ten Hag's admirers admires the player's professionalism, but views Maguire's sluggish pace problem and wants to sell him and a true competition for Varane, Martinez, in essence of the quality of the defense. The manager is also preparing to lease Fred when the midfield contract expires in June, when United have an option to extend the deal for another 12 months, but it's not expected to be taken. Erik ten Hag has been impressed with Fred's application in the team ethic, but is keen to overall midfield, which only Casemiro has proven to be a consistent top-class performer. Fred was signed Jose Mourinho in 2018, 52 million. No, it wasn't a Jose signing. That's a lie. It wasn't. It was a signing, but it wasn't a Jose signing. Yeah. So that's the gist of it. I already said that. I told you guys already. If Manchester United were a big club, see you later, Ronaldo, in January. Fred, Maguire, Tuanzebe is injury prone. Anthony Martial. I would go and find another 5 players to replace those 5. That's what I would do, because a serious club would be thinking, why can't we sign in January? Why?
Wait a second. You need to rein in a little bit there, right? Okay, let's just freeze your comment. Let's just stop that comment. Name me a team now, because you said I know what you're saying when you said it, but I think about this time and time again. Name me a club right now in the Premier League that would go and do what you just said. Those 5 players go and get 5. No. Wait. No. I'm just asking. You're putting a spot. Name me a club in the Premier League that would do that in January. Name me a club that would potentially do it. Show me one.
Man City.
No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't do 5. They wouldn't do 5. They might do 2. They wouldn't do 5. No way.
For Man City, most people forget. Look, go and have a look, people. Can somebody please in the comments find how many players that Pep Guardiola signed and how many players that he's got rid of?
It's silly. We know it's a silly number. We know.
Because Man City are not in the news. They don't make news like Manchester United or Arsenal or Liverpool or Chelsea. Pep Guardiola can buy 2 centre-halves. No, January, they're on loan, they're out. See you later. One of them sold. They get rid of players just because they're not useful.
over 2 transfer windows, 5, but not 5 in one.
Manchester United have not sold anybody. Look at what we got. We got Phil Jones for 12 years.
You know why we can't sell anybody? Because we've given these.
And that's my point. Bringing it back. We're not run like a football club. We're run like a.
Yeah, but you said 5 players. You said 5.
I would loan 3 out. Irfan, I would loan 3 out and get rid of 2. I would loan 3 out and get rid of 2. And guess who else is on loan? Man United have Amad Diallo on loan, Bailly on loan, Telles on loan.
The kid's gone to Birmingham. What's he called? The young kid's gone to Birmingham.
No, he's quite young. He's young. He's young. But Magbury, he's young, right? He's developing. The Amad Diallo's developing as well. But they've got 2 professionals. So for me, you send Maguire on loan, and then you go and sign a centre half, right? You then go and get rid of Fred and sign a midfield player. And then, for me, you go and sign a striker that has got a fantastic injury record who's going to play. But we can't do that. Manchester United, regardless whether they're selling, we need 3 players. A right back, a centre midfielder, and a striker.
But Nuruddin, but this particular remark brings into...
Irfan, because you know what? I would look at Irfan. Let me say something to you now.
No, but you're missing a big point. You're missing a big point here. You're missing a very big point here. You are.
Big clubs in Europe, because I still hold Man United to that standard. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Juventus. You know what I mean? Like, I hold them to those kind of standards. Barcelona, they get rid of players when they need to get rid of. How many players Barcelona got rid of? You know how many? Barcelona basically tore up a couple of, Umtiti. They tore up his contract.
Yeah.
They tore up his contract. See you later. You're injury prone, mate. See you later.
Yeah.
Big clubs move like big clubs. But that, to me, is interesting because we can see it. We can see what Maguire and Lindelof, and we've always said it, Fred and McTominay, Man United were never going to go anywhere.
Wait a second, Wait a second. No, the Maguire one is look. This is the truth. The Maguire one is people who watch him every week, like United fans have done for the last 2 years, know this guy's dog shite. Okay, they know he can't handle playing for United. Okay, and he's got the touch of an elephant.
Alex,
right?
by the way, let me just big up Alex. Big up Alex for getting the quotes. By the way, big up.
Yeah.
Big up.
So
Alex.
I'm just saying that, but the rest of the English football fan and the English football establishment, they love the guy because he's seen as an English hero. They don't watch it. They don't watch him play for United. Okay, so let's get that one out of the way. But what I'm trying to say to you, you're making a point about football structures and the fact that because we have no structure. You keep talking about if we had a big club.
Apparently we do. Andy O'Brien is the latest recruit to become assistant of director of football. Come on. That's what we've got. Apparently we have.
No. You know what I've noticed?
No, that's what the club are telling us.
Yeah, but forget that.
They are. No, it's not about forgetting that. They're there. They're not good enough. These guys are not good enough. And also, even if they were good enough, they will still have to work on the Glazonomics.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying to you. What I observe at the moment, even in this first 11 games or whatever we've had in the season, is that the fans are forgetting about the massive problems we've got with infrastructure because we've got a manager who seems to know what he's doing. And what that is doing is that is making people forget that we're an effed up club because we've got these toxic owners that won't do anything. But they keep thinking that this guy is going to magically fix it. And even us, we're talking like, oh, he can do this, he can do that, when he can't do shit because you can't get rid of all the poison that's already there because you can't ship these players out. Nobody will pay them their wages. Nobody will pay them the transfer fee. They've been bought extortionate wages. They basically got the sunbed out on the beach at my Old Trafford, metaphorically speaking. That's what they've got. They don't want to go because they're getting paid silly wages. They're not going to get paid anywhere else. So we're all getting, excited because we see progress on the football pitch. But the problem is, the reality is, these bastards still own the club. So that is basically my thoughts. That is basically pulling the wool over our eyes about what actual progress is possible. Even me and you are making it wrong because we're forgetting that this guy can't do shit with these guys at the top. You can't do anything in this club. So this is why all these hypotheticals we use, they're not going to mean anything. You getting 5 players, saying we're going to get 5 players. It means jack shit. because it's honest.
Listen to me. I obviously, yeah, I'm being both. What's the word? Hyperbole. Is that the word? Hyperbole. Right?
It's hyperbole. Yeah.
Listen, hyperbole.
But you know what I'm saying, though. Do you understand my point I'm making?
Ranieri says Manchester United need 9 players that can play 10 players that can play modern football. Man United should be using, if we were a football club, we would use 3 transfers to get at least 8. We would use 3 transfers to at least to get 8. So we would use the summer, we signed 5. We would use, did we sign 5? Eriksen's on a free. Casemiro's 30. You know what I mean? Like, did we really sign 5? So they would be using January to sign 3 and next summer 2. So then we would look like here, like I says here, Muhammad Ali says here, since 2018, every club has changed almost their starting squad. Might have 2 to 4 players, yeah, but it is what it is. Listen, Carl Lewis,
might have 2 to 4 old players, play.
Yeah, all players. I have to disagree with instructor. If you set an impossible target like 5 signings in January, you're giving a new transfer team no chance of winning you over. Listen, I said it in hyperbole, but for me, Manchester United, if they were a football club, and the biggest thing what Ranieri says is that you don't need, he said, you don't need glasses to see where the problems are. He told you, he diagnosed what it was there. He said, you don't need glasses. He said, it's open heart surgery.
Yeah.
So if Manchester United want to be competing to build a team that competes in 2-3 years, use these 3 transfers to at least sign 8 players.
But Nerdy, let me just stop you a second. I am waiting for United to buy a guy for 15 million who is a baller. Like the guy from Brighton that we love. Is it Caicedo? What's his name? Caicedo, yeah. I am waiting for United. Even if United have bought Bissouma this year, I would have gone, right, even I'm getting, I can say there's some thought there. All United can do is buy players for stupid money and show they've got no brains. If they'd show me that they could buy a guy like Liverpool do or Arsenal or other players for 15, 20, 30 million that had the potential to be 90 million. When's the last time we did that? We bought up a guy cheap to show me that someone in the transfer department or the scouting knew what was doing, because I haven't seen that for a long, long time. I haven't seen it. Show me that. So this is the thing. When you say 5 signings, I say Nuruddin, if a big club, if that, it's like that.
They don't listen to our scouts. They do not listen to the scouts. They don't even use the scouts in our club. They've not used the scouts. But it's going to be very interesting to see how closely Erik ten Hag works with the scouts now. How closely? Because to me, Andy O'Brien and John Murtagh, there's a huge pressure on them for next summer. Tom's joining us in the last couple of minutes. Big up, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Big up. How we doing?
I don't know if you've been watching. I hope you've had a couple of drinks and the pub was all right. Are you Canary Wharf or are you in Yorkshire?
I'm in neither, actually.
Woo! Tom is somewhere. I told you, 00 Tom. You ain't got nothing. This guy's the real life James Bond. Go ahead, Tom.
I think I'm a bit late. I'm in Old Brummie.
Oh,
I'm in Old Birmingham.
Are you being any Villa fans? Have you met any Villa fans?
I bet a couple, yeah. I bet a couple.
Listen, let's pick our team. You come here at the perfect time.
Yeah.
Mitrovic looks like he might be out, Tom. So he's out with a foot injury, and he's one of those players who were going to the World Cup injured. So let me just answer this. You use Barca example. They got nothing. Listen, I'm not Carl Lewis. You surely cannot compare the coaching tactics and the details of Erik ten Hag and Xavi. Xavi is just learning his management. We're talking. We've got a serious manager. Within months, certain players have settled in, and we can see the potential. He just needs players who play with energy and can play the modern.
No, he doesn't know it in. He needs the bastards to get out and a proper backroom staff of owners behind him. Then you'd see progress at United instead of dreaming.
At the end of the day, I rate Ten Hag way highly than I rate.
Oh yeah, of course.
Sorry, but big up, bro. Big up for the comment. Listen, let's do this. Let's share this. There we go. Share screen. Bro. There we go. Tom, you've come for the perfect time. So Mitrovic is out. Let's pick our team, man. David De Gea.
Yep.
David De Gea. Even though the Raptor, by the way, the Bracker looked good with his. He looked good.
Do you think he looked good?
He looked good in terms of He looked good. It's not even coming up. Tyrell. Why is Malacia not coming up? Let me just see. Wow.
No.
Malacia. I just remember Malacia. M-A, isn't it? Or is it M-I?
M-A.
M-A.
M-A what?
M-A-L-A-C-I-A, isn't it? M-A-L-A-C-I-A, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
it.
wow.
That is the spelling of it, but he's not coming up.
He's not coming. It's not in your. You need to get this updated, Nuruddin. Yeah.
Well, basically, it's crazy because it's not letting him make him. So let's just put him on here. Sure. Let me just go with the centre.
Why do you put Malacia? Why do you need Malacia's name anyway?
Malacia is going to be playing right back on Sunday.
Oh yeah, because is Dallo out?
Dallo's out. Yeah, he's suspended for the game.
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh yeah. Claire said it in the.
I mean, you never know. He might play Lindelof right back. You never know.
Yeah, you might play Lindelof right
because he's not going to play Maguire.
Oh yeah. It's got to be Lindelof with Martinez.
They're going to be playing speedy strikers. So Maguire, I won't play Maguire. Maguire's fourth choice. I'll be shocked if he plays Lindelof in the back next to Maguire. I'll be shocked about that. So it's Lindelof. They're out anyway. What they call it? They're out. It's crazy.
What's going on, Nuruddin? How come it's not working today?
I don't know. I genuinely do not know.
Try putting Victor in instead.
Yeah, try his first name. Yeah.
No, that's
not. No, wow.
Crazy. I don't know what's happened to it.
It don't matter anyway. We know who we're picking, don't we?
We don't need to see it on the screen. We can just say it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going with you reckon it probably makes sense that it's going to be Malacia right back. It's going to be
Luke Shaw.
Martinez.
Yeah. Luke Shaw. It's Shaw here, right? That's obviously.
Yeah.
Wow.
Forget it's not working. Forget about
it.
It
don't matter. Forget it. Forget about it.
Oh yeah, you know what it is. Let me just update this. 1 second. So basically, the team. Let me just update it. Let me see if it works now. Let's see if it works.
MA, go on.
No, it's not working.
Nah, forget about it. Forget about it.
Oh, forget about it. Don't waste time. Come on, let's go forward. We don't waste people's time.
But anyway, Malacia will be playing. So it's going to be Malacia right back.
Yeah.
I'll just get off this now. Malacia. It's going to
move on to midfield.
So it's basically Malacia right back. Like Martinez, Lindelof, Shaw, De Gea. That's the back five. Midfield, Casemiro. I don't want to play Martinez. I want to play McTominay. I don't want to play Martinez, but he's going to play Martinez. I think not Martinez. Sorry, Eriksen. I wouldn't play Eriksen. For me, I would bring Eriksen on in the second half.
So you play McTominay?
I would play Casemiro, Fred, and Bruno in the midfield. That's what I would play. That's who I would for Casemiro, Fred, and I would keep Eriksen. No.
We're meant to be thinking what he's going to do. Who do you think he's?
No, we're not doing what he's gonna. We're doing what because we don't know what he's gonna pick. Well, I already know what he's gonna pick, but we're picking the team. I'm not picking Eriksen tomorrow because we got overrunning midfield.
Yeah,
we've shown it. Defensive is a massive defensive liability. It's Casemiro against their three in midfield, and Fulham set traps already. So that's what we'd play. And I will play Garnacho on the left, reward him, start him again on the left. No, I wouldn't actually. I wouldn't. I would have him as a sub. I would have him as a sub. I'll play Rashford on the left, Martial down the middle, and if he passes the late fitness test, I'll play Anthony on the right.
No. I
agree with you.
I don't see what Martial's done or warranted to get a start. What he's got to happen against Villa. He didn't give anything when he went. But no, this is the thing is though. When he went off, we looked a better team. When Rashford moved central and then you bring on Garnacho, we look so much more of a better team.
Tom, 1 second. 1 second. Let me find you the quote. This is from the press conference, right? This is the press conference before the game. This is what Erik ten Hag said. Right? Erik ten Hag said this.
About Martial, you mean? Yeah.
Martial is his first choice striker. He's his first choice striker.
Yeah, check this quote out. Check out what he said. Go on, listen.
Martial is his first choice striker, and he said, let me just find this quote. That's what he said. He said, it's clear, you can read it there. It says, it's clear from, in the way of playing, I like the type that Anthony...
No, in my way of playing, it's clear in my way of playing.
Yeah, my way of playing, Anthony Martial, because he can hold up the ball, he's a target, he can link up, he can also run behind, and he has the speed. So that's what he thinks about him. And I told everybody that. So, yes, we look better because we had a bit more energy and we pressed. So Garnacho came in. So if you put Anthony and Garnacho in that,
that's what I'm thinking.
We will look better. We will look a lot better because.
But he's not going to drop Rashford. He's not going to drop Rashford. That's the problem.
No. But I said no. You could have played Rashford as a number 10 behind Martial. You could play that. He could have done that. He could have brought Van der Beek and done that. He could have brought on Rashford because he's done it before. He did it with Ronaldo and Martial when we were losing against Villa. He put Martial as the number 10.
And we needed the goals.
Actually, last night, which was interesting, he put in the last 15 minutes, he put McTominay as the number 10, as a striker, number 10, number 9 role. So he's tactically flexible, but Martial is the guy for me. He's not going to the World Cup, so he's not going to be asked about getting injured.
Yeah.
And what they're saying is that.
Well, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. If you put it on that argument, that makes more sense.
Yeah, Ronaldo is sick, so he is the guy who's going to be trying to get his fitness back. And actually, on his press conference, people go and check out. It's really, this time, they've asked him, the journalists, I've got to give it up to them, they've asked him really detailed questions. And they even questioned Martial's injury record, and they said, what is it? And he said, well, he's thinking about it. He's thinking about why am I getting these injuries? And we're analysing it as well. And he says, we need players that are available. And Ten Hag sounded really frustrated that he said illness and injury has cost him. He said, he even said he went to the guy framed the question as, what about your top 4 credentials? Is Martial so important to your top 4? And Erik ten Hag said yes. The answer to this question is that he said yes. He said, is Martial crucial to your top 4? He said yes, but also the other attacking players. And he's clearly frustrated with the level of illnesses to Sancho, the injury to Anthony, and obviously the illness to Rashford as well. He talked about it. So he talked about it in quite detail. So go and check out the press conference, people, when we end this, honestly. It's worth a watch. It's one of the most, like, he's given so much information about what's happening. Like, and he certainly wants to win this game. Erik ten Hag has also come out in different interviews that he says, this is to Carl Janka of The Athletic, who's a quite tactical journalist, United fan. He says to him, he asked him the question, he says in the press conference, he said, what is it about that's non-negotiable for you in terms of a team? He said, the defensive way of playing, the defensive organization, he says, they have to do it. They have to do it. He said, that's not negotiable. He said, the rest, defense, when we have the ball, what he means basically positions where players are, the fullbacks are and stuff like that, where they are, that's super important because we can stop the counters, big counter-attack. But he said, the way he gives the leeway is the attacking option, especially the last bit of the attack before we get a strike on goal. He says, there you have a bit more leeway. But the defensive, he said he was so disappointed. And he keeps repeating it on multiple different interviews, how disappointed he was with a team, the way we defended against Villa. So that's what he's talking about. So I'm not expecting us to be as open as we were against Villa, taking this game lightly. He said he wants to win this game. He understands how Fulham have been playing and that it's going to be a very tricky game. Very tricky game. But for me, I don't want any Ronaldo on this football pitch. And no Ronaldo. So I would have Eriksen, Van der Beek, Garnacho to come and change the game. I would have that. Wait,
Nuruddin, pick the team then. Do that afterwards. You're doing that. You're moving backwards and forwards. Get to the what's the midfield again? Let me hear it again. What's the midfield?
It's Bruno, Fred, and Eriksen.
But okay.
We need fighters.
Eriksen. It's Bruno, Fred, and
Sorry, not Eriksen. Bruno, Fred and Casemiro. We need
Mm.
fighters. We
Okay,
cannot
move on next then. Top at the front, go on. Who?
Rashford on the left, Martial in the middle, and Anthony on the right. That's what I would play. That's
And,
who I would play.
and what if Anthony's not fit?
If he's not fit, I would play in Langa because we need energy up there on the right hand side. We need pace. And he's good at pressing. He proved that last night. He's pressing on the right hand side. We pressed them really hard, and we limited the amount of chances they could make. But Tom, what team do you think Eric Ten Hag's going to pick? And I'll come to you, Irfan, and then we'll close the show. Go ahead, Tom.
I'd probably pick the same back four. I can't really argue with that with the injuries and absentees. I don't see Maguire being picked, I'm being honest. The only way he'd get picked is if he plays Lindelof as a right back. That's the only way I see him getting picked anyway. But midfield, I wouldn't have probably changed anything. I think you play Fernandes, you play Casemiro, but I think, like you've just said there, you need warriors in there. You need people who are going to fight and stuff. And I think McTominay, for me, he gives more than what Fred can give on a physicality level. And I think Fred's decent in terms of he picks the ball up in decent areas, but he hasn't got a creative bone in his body. So he's useless when he picks up the ball. So there's no point. With McTominay, at least there's a forward-thinking output. And in this team anyway, and with Ten Hag, he's not making as many passes backwards. He's making passes that are going productively forwards or out to a wide player to then progress the ball forwards, like he was doing against Villa, for example, when Garnacho then runs up the wing, takes a couple of players on, bang, you're in the opposition box. But if we're going to move forward in that regard, I would play McTominay for me, just because of the physicality levels that he will bring in the midfield. And front three, I think Garnacho deserves to start. I'll be honest. I don't know if the Argentinian squad's out yet or not. I don't think it is.
He's in the preliminary. He's already made it to the preliminary.
What does that mean? Does that mean he's in like the waiting, or he's like a reserve?
He's in the biggest squad that they're going to go together. He's going to join up him, and they're going to put it down to 26.
Yeah.
So he's in the squad then. He's in the 26 man or whatever.
First cut. Basically, he's made the first cut. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well,
they're going to do another cut, obviously, second cut.
There's another cut to come yet. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, fair enough. I'd still play him anyway because I think he's only came on for barely 20-30 minutes against Villa, so I wouldn't really be too concerned.
His long-term injury, no chance.
No chance about
Transasia. No, it's not happening.
Through the middle, I'd play Rashford.
So you're playing Garnacho and you're playing Rashford up front.
I'm playing Garnacho left, Rashford up front, and I'd play Anthony if he's fit. But if not, I would play Alanga out wide right. So I'd go for a lot of pace in behind. But the thing with those three lads as well is they'll all press from the front as well, and that's what I like to see with these players. Because if he plays Eriksen, you ain't going to be pressing in the midfield, so you're going to have to press from the front. That's all that I'm saying. So I'll kind of cover all bases. But if you just have three at the front.
My only disagreement with that is Fred for McTominay, because I think Fred wins the ball higher up the pitch more.
No. This is a tough one because this is my issue as well. I'm not sure either because Fred, obviously, against Fulham, I think we need him because he's going to break up the play. But like I said, there's going to be no passing. There's not going to be any productivity from the guy. Now, my problem is that McTominay could do the job, but McTominay can't break up the play like Fred can, even though he might be able to pass better. This is a dilemma that we've got at the moment because they both can't really do the job. Maybe a half each, depending on how the game goes, could work. But it's a tough call to work out which one of each. Tough call.
But 100%, I would have more players on the pitch tomorrow who are not worried getting injured for the World Cup. So in that argument, then McTominay would have to play because he's not going to be worried about playing in the World Cup.
I don't think a lot of these players are going to be worried, if I'm personally honest. Though
I think they are, Tom. I think they are.
I think knowing that they're in the squads already, I think helps.
No, but I think they are, Tom. Do you know why?
No, it's because of the Pogba Mane thing. That's why.
Because so many players are out of the World Cup already.
Yeah, like Pogba, Mane, they're big headlines everywhere. Everyone's talking about the misery of these guys missing the World Cup, these superstars. So I think it will be on people's minds tomorrow. We're going to find out. We're going to see tomorrow.
I know a lot of managers, national managers, are going to be taking a lot of players who are still injured to the World Cup, thinking that they're going to be getting out the group and then they can come after the.
Of course they are. They're taking health risks, aren't they? Normally it's 23 men and then you can take a risk on 3 players. if you want to argue with that, Gareth Southgate's done the answer with players like Kyle Walker and stuff who aren't expected to be back until I think it's the final group stage match for England, for example. Loads of comments are coming in for that anyway.
Yo, big up Logan. Yeah, I love Kone. Man
Yeah,
United.
Kone's a brilliant player. He's a brilliant. I like this guy a lot. You know,
Right.
I've watched Dortmund a few times. I watched him batter City until I got, you know.
No,
City's
not him, Evan. It's Keena, the other guy. I think something like that. No, it's the guy who plays for Werder Bremen. He's the kid who plays for Kunde Kone, plays for Werder Bremen.
Oh, so it's another guy. It's a different guy. All right.
Yeah.
Actually, sorry, you're right. Yeah, I got correct. This is the place for Werder Bremen. This guy, yeah.
Bremen, and he's brilliant.
Yeah.
Player. Brilliant. He scored.
Yeah, brilliant, man.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. But it is what it is, people. It is what it is. Go on, Evan. Pick your team. What do you think he's going to do, or what? You know,
I mean, look, I agree with Tom to a degree. I mean, I do think Garnacho deserves a start, but I wouldn't because he's still young. And I talked about earlier, I don't want him to be in that, like, thinking he could be starting every game. He's still too young yet. I don't want him to be overusing an 18-year-old all the time. I'd rather give it to Martial, even though
I think he'd be brilliant at coming on. And
I said about 4 episodes. I said, give this guy 5-10 minutes. Just give him 5-10 minutes. That's it. Don't give him any more. Just give him that. Enough. That will do for now. So I think my only problem is I'd probably go with Fred over McTominay in the first half because they're a fast, athletic team. They're just little fast passers. So I would go with Fred, but hoping maybe if we can hang in there or we're in the game. And we can afford to bring McTominay out. I'll definitely have Martial on the left. I'd have Rashford in the middle, and I'd probably have Elanga or whoever. Probably, yeah. I mean, because there's no one else on the right we can play.
If Mitrovic was fit, 100%, I would play McTominay because in the back post, Mitrovic was playing tomorrow. He would have been pulling on Malacia in that back post. That's where he pulled on Trent. He goes he doesn't target the centre half, Mitrovic. These movements nowadays, he targets the full-back areas. So 100%, I would have said McTominay plays because I know that McTominay would help out with that in terms of the positioning, defensively.
Well, we've been corrected here. Kone plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach. Someone saying.
Yeah. Sorry, Bruce.
Not
Werder Bremen. Sorry,
Mönchengladbach. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I always get those two teams mixed up, and I've been to where Werder Bremen is in Germany.
Yeah.
I've been there, but Mönchengladbach. I can't say it.
Mönchengladbach.
Yeah, Mönchengladbach. Very good team in the 70s, apparently. Very good team.
They were. When I was a kid, they were.
Why is no one picking Eriksen? Because we saw the horror show against effing Villa on Sunday, and we've been seeing it before that anyway.
He's knackered.
Fatigue.
He's feeling it, man. He's feeling it.
He's feeling it, man.
If anybody saw the Spurs Nottingham Forest game where you saw Harry Kane was blowing after 20 minutes, that's literally what you will get with Eriksen if he plays.
Yeah,
he's absolutely he's blowing.
Who's TIT? Who's that?
No, Chichi. That's the
Brazilian manager.
Chichi. That's how they say. It's a chi sound. Chichi.
Brazilian national head coach.
You wake up, Nerdy. He's Brazil's manager. That clown.
I don't rate him, by the way.
They hate this guy. They hate him.
I do not rate him.
I don't rate him at all. I don't rate
him. Is that his nickname or is that his name?
No, that's his actual name. That's his TT.
Well, you know what? It shows you how much I've rated him. And I've always watched Brazil as a kid.
Nuruddin, he was managed before.
I thought, to me,
Nuruddin.
Listen, in the Copa American final, Argentina versus Brazil at the Maracanã during lockdown was the most tactically inept I've ever seen from a Brazilian coach.
But Nuruddin, this clown was manager before, lost the job and got it back again.
That's crazy.
This is who this guy.
There's some shit going on in it. You know, there's some shit going on.
And he's saying no to Casemiro, Fred, and Anthony playing tomorrow. He's saying no. That's what Wendy's saying.
I refuse to believe this. I think they're going to use the fans. Majority of their players are not going to the World Cup. Pereira's not going to the World Cup. I think Dan James is. Mitrovic is definitely injured. I don't know if many of their players are going to the World Cup. So they're gonna see this as a big game for them to win. Before they all go on holiday, and then before they have the training camp for the second preseason, I think they're going to go for it. They've got their fans. I've been to that stadium. Trust me, their fans are loud. There's like the stadium sitting on top of the pitch. It is a very tight atmosphere. So I'll be shocked if they just give us the ball and don't come at us. I predicted the same similar thing with Villa last weekend. I said the most dangerous type of the United is going to be the first 15, 20 minutes.
Absolutely.
Because we've got a new manager, you know, packed out Villa. These players are no longer on the Gerrard and they're going to come back and play. But it's going to be very interesting. So, score predictions, people. Irfan, what do you think? I think it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be a score.
Shit, yeah.
What do you think? They've got about 3 injuries on 2 banned players.
I still don't like to be. I'm not. People say I'm negative, but I'm gonna go for a 2-1 win for United because everyone calls me negative. I'm gonna go for a 2-1 win for United. Right? But everyone United, you can shove it up there, right? Because I'm not negative. Okay.
What are you saying? 2-1 United.
I've said 2-1 United, Nuruddin.
Tom. Big up Carl Lewis. Both Fred and Scott were awful on Thursday. Both couldn't compete a 5-yard pass. That was when they missed it. I'll play Donny next to Casemiro. Well, maybe. But anyway, now Fulham will press. Yeah, they'll bring energy. That's the reason why they're 9th on the table. Not because they wait for teams. They press you hard. And that guy, Paulina, what a player, what a goal scorer. Manchester United need to watch out for his late runs into the box because he is a baller. He can finish. Paulina, he can finish. He's their danger man for me as well as Pereira. But yeah, go ahead, Tom.
I'm gonna get the guns out. I'm gonna go 4-1. I think we'll blitz them. I honestly do.
Manchester United have not scored 2, I think, or 3 in an away game. We have City.
I just think we're going to blitz them.
Wait a second, Nuruddin, right? Is it not crazy to think? Do you remember that time when Rashford and Martial clicked? I think it was actually under Ollie's reign. Do you remember when they actually clicked?
I'm Mr.
I don't know why. I keep thinking that's going to happen again at some point. If Martial gets a run of games, I keep thinking these two are going to get back to scoring. You know, one guy scores one game, he scores the other game. You know, backwards. I keep thinking that's going to happen. I only said 2-1. I wasn't as crazy as Thomas said 4-1, right? But
I just think we'll blitz them. I think we'll get a couple of goals, and then I think we'll just
the old Fulham, not this new Fulham. The old Fulham, I might go with you, but not this new one. I think it's a different gravy. This.
If they want to bring this energy in, that it's just going to play into the hands because either they'll make mistakes because they don't have the quality of the players, or they're just going to come too far at you, and we'll catch them on the counter attack. And like I said, with the 3 players,
Marco Silva is very tactical. Yeah,
he's very tactical.
Is very tactical. He makes changes. Yeah, he's very, very tactical, and his in-game management is brilliant. By the way, I really like.
I'll be very honest. I don't rate Marco Silva very highly, if I'm honest.
Well, this season
he's been sacked twice already in the Premier League.
They were by far the best team. They won the championship. They were so clear.
Yeah, I'm not doubting it in the championship, but
no, but I'm saying to you, and this season, out of all the teams that have come up, they're 9th after 13 games. That's incredible. That's incredible. That's incredible. For the team that's come up to be next to Liverpool, who were 8th. Paulina, yeah. Windy, we think the same. Tom, what do you think? 4-1, you said? Was it 4-1?
Yeah, 4-1.
Okay, some people think 2-2.
So wait a second, Nuruddin. Some people are saying Logan's saying it's going to go the same way as Villa. I agree, it could go the same way because they could really jump out the blocks. They could really go out the blocks. But I'm thinking that we might learn from that. That might be a tactic that some teams against because it works so well for Villa. I think some managers think that's the way to get out of us because when we used to play with Ole, remember that was the way with Ole. That's how we used to get slapped. They used to come at us in the first 10 minutes. So it's not wrong to think that.
Well, he's using my metaphor here. I always use this quote, innit? If they get their first goal, it's good night Vienna. It could be a good night Vienna because they've got quick players who can counter-attack us. It's going to be very interesting. Tom, come back. Where does he always rush off to? Come back, Tom. But it is what it is, people. It is what it is. But it's been a pleasure, people. There's been 80 of you, 90 of you in here. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you smash that notification. Put the notification plan on. I've been out all day, so I'm hungry, man. I'm so hungry. And what time it is now? It's too late to eat. No, it's never too late to eat, mate.
You're not eating, Nuruddin?
No, not really. Not tonight. I've eaten today, but not today. Not tonight, no.
You're joking.
Last time I ate was around, I had a food 3 o'clock. So 2 o'clock? 2 o'clock.
You want to get something to eat? Is that what you want to do?
Nah, bro. I'm gonna have some food at home. Well, unless you're hungry, unless you're going somewhere. Are you going somewhere to go and get some food?
No, I've eaten, but I don't mind. I don't mind.
What have you had to eat?
I grilled some chicken before. I used my air fryer for the first time today.
Oh,
I bought it 7 years ago and I've never used it. And I thought I'm going to use it today.
how was the taste? How did it taste?
I did this sort of like this sort of Cajun sort of like a flour, a sort of spicy sort of flour mix, a little bit of oil in there just to give it a little coating. Yeah, do it sort of more Western style.
What seasoning do you use, fam? Your mum's seasoning?
I did. I went the typical cayenne pepper, smoked paprika kind of thing. Dip it in oil and a bit of egg mix and stuff like that. Slap it together. But it's not really the way I eat. But because I just come back from the gym, I thought I'll just go and eat something like. Normally Friday night's my sort of cheat meal. But I did that, and I wanted to see how it would come out in the air fryer. And obviously, because I use the thermometer for all my cooking to check everything's cooked, I was quite impressed by the way it came out because it was pretty light. I made some wedges with it as well. Yeah, so I was quite surprised. Wow. There you go, by the way.
Chef. Big up Logan, by the way. I love Nuruddin's quote. Simmer Frame FC. That's what we are. That was me.
Yeah.
Good night, Vienna. Is the way. Actually, it doesn't mean that the way I use it, by the way. Good night, Vienna means something different.
It does.
People, let it be known it's one of the gifts that I use. And Charlie Murphy, when he laughs at people, that's my gift as well.
Who's Charlie Murphy, by the way? I don't know who Charlie
Murphy is. Eddie Murphy's brother.
Right. Okay. Right.
Yeah. Okay. You need to watch the David Chappelle skit where they talk about what's his name?
What, Dave Chappelle skit?
No, skit. He does this skit. You know what skit is? It's like
of course. Yeah.
Comedy piece, yeah. And it's the guy. What was his name? Oh, Rick James.
Hang on.
So they tell stories about Rick James. You know how cocaine fueled Rick. How crazy Rick James was in Studio 54. About how him and Charlie Murphy would get into fight. How he would slap Charlie Murphy. All of the craziness that happened. What happened when he went to Prince's house? When he went to Eddie Murphy's house, when he went to Prince's house, all sorts of crazy stories about Prince was an incredible basketball player, apparently.
Really?
Basketball player, yeah.
Wow.
Amazing basketball player. But listen, so
hang on, someone's
last night. Quickly, listen, F, I went to see a band last night. How was it? At the Band on the Wall. How was it? You went to see?
I went to see MF Robots. I mean, do you remember the group now, Brand New Heavies? Yeah, this was two of the people from Brand New Heavies, their own band. Wow. But I've been sent their music and I like it, but I don't love it. I just think it's nice, it's sweet. I don't go crazy about it. So when I spoke to the guy, the band member invited me to the show last night, I was like, okay, they've got great stage presence, but I just think something's missing. And I said yesterday, a string section, horn section, something behind it. But obviously the budget's tight. You can't pay for 12 people to come on stage with you. It's a lot of money. So about 150 people there. But I think they're waiting. They're just missing some kind of X. And obviously, like someone's mentioned, Rick James was XXXX. He had so much X. Whereas this band hasn't really got that much X yet, but they're only a new band. But they call it MF Robots, so check them out. It's very soulful. It's funky music. I'll give them that. That's very nice. But Alex has given the best quote. Alex said to you, Nuruddin, let's go to Archie's. We might see Aaron Wan-Bissaka there.
No, not doing that. I've not seen him since, to be fair. I know that he's had some family issues. He's been in London a lot, by the way. He's been in London. Yeah. So I know that he's been back home and he's had some family things they had to deal with. Yeah. But I know that he doesn't rate in everything.
He'll find an Archie's in down south. He'll find one. I'm sure they've expanded down there by now.
Yeah. Well, listen, Lee Edson is a very interesting character, and you'll get on with him. He came on the show last night.
Name? I can't work out his name. Leonson.
Yeah, Leonson. Yeah.
Leonson, 100. Yeah, he's obviously smart. The thing is, I'm gutted because I bought mine 7 years ago when it was a new thing, and obviously they've become a big thing now. So mine's a Philips ones, and it's just a little bit old school. It's a pain to clean it, but I just thought today I just woke up thinking I'm going to use the air dryer. I'm going to use it. Finally, use it. So your salmon there, and you can do it. You can do your nice salmon in there. But it's just
let the people let it be known. Let it be known, FM. My salmon is dangerous.
Yeah, he makes two things he makes really well. His salmon is very good, like very good. I wouldn't be ashamed to anyone to taste it. And his eggs are pretty deadly too. His Somali eggs, they're pretty deadly. I grown up, and I think Pakistani eggs, when you put chilies and coriander and stuff in, they're pretty deadly. The only egg I would come close to ours is the Spanish tortilla. That's also deadly. But Nuruddin's is like, I think my mum would be impressed with Nuruddin's eggs. And she's the master.
Listen, Muhammad Ali, what do you know about Rusholm? You don't know nothing about Rusholm. If the brother lives in the US, if I'm not mistaken, Muhammad Ali he lives in Texas, by the way.
Does he? Oh yeah, this is the guy. Yeah, the guy. Listen. I've been eating in Rusholm since 1987.
Sooner than you think. Soon, very soon. Well, we
Nuruddin,
can talk about food and everything else.
This new channel is like the thought of it's been going on for 6 months now. Oh shit! Hang on, whoa, wait a second.
Everyone's been busy.
There's a serious point in there. Hang on. Forget our joke. Wendy's just said something very serious. Apparently, ABW's brother died. He's left him in. It has him in a bad mental headspace. Wow, what that is one hell of a somber note to hit us with. Now, is that true?
I think there was there was grief. I thought it was a parent, but I didn't know it was a brother.
Wow. You listen. Forget we apologize completely for any jokes we made about this brother. Let's take it all back. I commiserate and
condolences to his family.
No one wants to get
him being in London. I know that they're quite knit family. His family, his mum and dad, his siblings, they're very tight knit family because they all came with him when he signed for Man United. I remember seeing the photos. They were all there at Carrington. There was loads of like photos and footage of them. So we're wishing nothing.
We want to pay our respects to him, and the family, because that goes with everything that does.
We'll send him love and light, man. We will send him love and light.
Send him big love and light.
There are things that are more serious. There's something
way more serious than what we're talking about. That
football, 100%. All the love to him.
Very, very sad. Very sad.
I know that he's been in London. I know that he's been. I've got one friend who was telling me like he's not even been in Manchester. He's not been there.
Wow.
Been there.
I can't. I'm shocked, Nuruddin. I'm a bit shocked to read that one.
And you know what? His brother's not that much older than him. I don't think either. It's not that old. So I really hope. Yeah. This is the brother Irfan. If I'm not mistaken, we met him.
So we were coming back from the.
Have you been in Manchester? Have you been in Manchester, Muhammad Ali? Did we meet you on the road that night?
Yeah, we met. Remember we met that United fan at 5 a.m. in Rusholm. It was. I think this is a guy.
Maybe not. Maybe.
But wait a second, it might not be a spot called 360. I never heard of no spot called 360. Have you, Nuruddin?
No, we don't go.
No one in Rusholm eats at a place called 360. I'll tell you that now. Okay.
We eat in Almadina.
From out of town who knows there's a place there that everyone ignores. That must be what you're talking about.
360 somewhere else.
Yeah.
He's talking about things that he's seen on Twitter. He's not. So we eat at Almadina, Rusholm Chippy.
Listen, guys, if we talk food now, you're going to see us in a different light. We're not
going to talk. You know what? We're going to save it for the podcast. I promise you it's coming soon. But anyway, people, love and light. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you can. And like we said, we send in Therapy Army. We are sending love and light to Aaron Wan-Bissaka
and his family.
And we take back everything that we've said because we didn't know this information.
Yeah.
So I knew that. I thought maybe one of his parents is not well, and that's why he's been in London. But if he's lost a sibling, that is a heartbreak and a half.
Yeah. On that note, Nuruddin, I'm gonna because someone just said to me, "What's your favorite record?" I mean, it's crazy. I've been buying records for 33 years. It's
like asking Irfan to choose what's his favorite food. He can't.
Yeah. Well, I can actually. I can say Pakistani easily. Yeah. Nothing beats it. Nothing beats a curry back. I'm gonna build a record off, which is it reminds me of you, Nuruddin, this track. Yeah. Can you see that? Yeah. Oh shit, you can't, can you? It's by Femi Kuti. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Actually, let's take this shitty plastic off, right? And it is called Bang Bang Bang.
Oh, Bang Bang Bang. Yes.
Right. It's one that you love. Okay. So this is my track for today. King of that's Fela Kuti's son, Femi Kuti. Amazing performer, amazing saxophonist, and he's the guy that I love. But I get new records every week, but I'm very particular about buying records. I was particular about buying records in the 80s because this is my gallery. But this is only a small section. There's only like 3,000 or 4,000 here. I've got them in 3 different houses. So You know, I ran out of room a long time ago, but I collect music from everywhere. Africa is my main thing, and Black America. They're my two favorite. But obviously, I collect a lot of Brazilian music,
Lot of Latin music as well.
a lot of Latin music as well,
And a lot of jazz,
a
funk,
lot of jazz,
soul.
a lot of Latin music. But let's finish. Let's give him an education. Let's make him feel good. Let's go to jazz. Yeah, the great Kamasi Washington.
Yeah, Kamasi. Yeah.
And look at that. I mean, that's what I'm saying about records. Yeah, just on a note of how records can be presented. I'm just saying you can't get this from an MP3, can you? You can't get these works of art from an MP3. That's why I always say to people, start collecting vinyl and collect your own music gallery. It's a gallery. It's like, this is like my art gallery. I've got in my own home because every record's got a story to it. I mean, look at that. Look at that beauty. From LA, the great Kamasi Washington. Yeah. Triple pack vinyl in hard black sleeve. It'll cost you probably 50 quid to get hold of that. Maybe double that now, but that's what I'm saying. Records. The art of buying records is you buy records you try to keep for life, and that's the hardest thing. Would you like that record for the rest of your life?
Edison, tell them Irfan's been collecting for 3 decades.
Yeah, 33 years. 33. I first started buying records in 86
when he was like 15 or 14, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. I tried to collect records, and then so many of my friends were lending them. So I had a cinema. I had a. From the age of 18, I collected films, DVDs, and records, and everybody was.
Well, you're the film guy, right? But if you want to start collecting records, I will start your record collection. I can do that for you very easily. So if I start my pop-up shop again, I might be starting the vinyl shop again. You can come around and we'll give you records to start your collection. Okay.
There we go.
Holding
it to him, and it's the kind of thing about the podcast where we would be filming.
Yeah,
the actual record fair as well. That's the thing.
No, listen. We can do food. We can do politics. Apart from football, then it's politics, and then it's food and everything else. Yeah. Cinema,
politics,
cinema,
music, food, cinema. All things. 15 minutes each.
Yeah, we
will. We'll go into that now.
Yeah.
All I'm saying to you, Kanye needs to give his head a wobble and name names, the people who've done him. Other than coming out with a over conspiratorial that certain community control everything, I don't believe that. That's tapping into deeply held anti-Semitic tropes.
Yeah,
I'm not with that. I'm not with that. Kanye, listen, Kanye speaks like a black face for white supremacists as well. That's
no, look, nerdy.
When you align yourself with Candace Owens, where you come out and say that George Floyd died from fentanyl, I don't want to know you. When you dehumanize a black human being that was murdered in front of everybody, the whole world saw that man be murdered, you say, nah, the guy didn't kill him. You're basically you're showing no humanity. So for me, I don't want to hear You know what? I love these first 2 albums. I love those 2 albums. But I've stopped listening to them. I've took them out. You know the funniest thing? I've taken them out of all of my Spotify. I've taken them out of my Spotify. The things that I've said. What's the thing called? My selections. My mixes. You know, my mixes.
Do you remember when I used to play Jesus Walks at Ponana? I used to play Jesus Walks. And the club used to go crazy. I used to drop that track. The whole place used to go crazy. Yeah. So I feel very sad.
Circle as well.
Not circle, but for me, the saddest thing is when you stand with Candace Owens, it's very hard for anybody in this world who's civilized or decent to forgive you for that. Because to me, it's one of the most treacherous things you can do, to stand with a woman, a black woman, in the pocket of Donald Trump and white supremacy. That is the lowest of the low. So I am going to cut him some slack to say he's damaged. But standing next to Candace, and if you don't know who Candace Owens are, shame on you people. I mean, actually, in a way, I'll take that back, because the fact that you don't know is probably a good thing. But she's one of the most treacherous people in this world alive today. When I hear that name, my blood just runs cold when I think about what she's doing. She's making money selling out black people to make out that your problems are your own, that you manufacture them yourself. How low can you go?
No, can't. Guys, we've been running for 1 hour and 34 minutes. Irfan, thank you for educating them on the music. We just need to sort it out, people. But I promise you, it's going to be interesting because I'm going to be coming for everybody. I'm going to be coming for everybody who's been hassling me for the past 6 months about this channel. When we do it, if you do not build the channel and make it your own and build that community and let the whole world know about it, then we're going to see, people. We're going to see. So
well, but Nordin, final point, the wider point is like, look, we talk to you about football, but we're always trying to bring in societal things about how to observe football. We're trying to bring them in. My worry is, I don't know how many you lot out there are interested in society as a whole and how football fits in society, the deeper sides of society. I don't know. Because if you are, you're going to get an education like you never got at school. I'll tell you that now. The education we will give you, you will never get any school.
The depth of historical.
I wish someone had given me the education I can now give to you. I wish someone had given it to me when I was 15, 16. I wish I would be a different person.
Listen, our geopolitical knowledge on what's going on in different parts of the world, it's our life story.
It's my life story.
It's my life story. That's why I know what's going on in different parts of the world.
Like we can tell you what's going on in Venezuela. We can tell you what's going on in Iran. We can tell you what's going on in Japan. We can tell you what's going on in Senegal. Even I follow. I can tell you what's going on in Ukraine right now, and a different side to that. So much stuff we can tell you, but it will blow your heads off. What you know, it will freak you out. What you think you know is correct, it will freak you out. That's why you got to be very careful with this station.
Actually,
that's not conspiracy theories. I read all the journalists, most respected journalists alive today. I read their work, and you read their work. We read their work daily. The Noam Chomskys and people like that, the people we agree with, disagree with, the people we respect. That's what it's about. But I hope you guys are ready for this, because this is a different level.
Peace, love, light, especially Juan Basaka and his family.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. All the fans to show the guy some love, because that is, if it's true, it's the most horrible thing to think about.
And you know what? I hope that the journalists and that give him time to mourn, and they don't go and try to find out what's happened or whatever. If he's lost a sibling, we have to be able to give him space and time for him to recover 100%. And like I said, they're a very tight-knit family. So I'm praying and wishing them love and light in this difficult time. Oh no, we're not like that, David Inkle. No, we're not.
I don't do Davey. I don't do the Matrix. I don't need that. This is serious. I mean,
we don't think lizards. We don't think lizards. We don't believe in this idea. Lizards.
Look what I got as a nice present. There you go. If you know me, here's a book for you. Okay. You need this book, Nuruddin. You got it. Remember, Martina gave it to you. Remember?
Yes, I got it. Yeah. Brilliant book.
It's an amazing. If you want to learn about.
But anyway, we will teach you guys. I promise you.
We will.
Yeah.
We'll share.
We'll share with you guys.
Yeah.
We'll share the knowledge. Yeah. You guys have been waiting for the new podcast. Yeah, guys. We'll 100% is coming.
Promise. You haven't got a promise. We will.
We've been busy. I'm telling you now. This has been even busy to do this. I couldn't even do the match preview for Villa game the other night. It was just too busy, people. But love, light, take care of each other, take care of yourselves, people, and let's see what happens on Sunday. But it's gonna be a tough game. But love and light, peace, people. Good night, please. Win, lose or draw, Glazers out, bankers out. Please smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Hit the notification button. It lets you know when we're live, people. It's important. It lets you know when we're live. Always share the knowledge. Always share the knowledge. And most importantly, please just smash that like on the video. Smash that like, because it costs you absolutely nothing. It helps to grow the channel. And what it will do is that it costs you zero. It gets the algorithms up. That's what it will do. Peace, love, light. Big up, Irfan. There you go, people. Good night.